Warning. This game's setting revolves around an active Middle East combat zone and contains references to extreme violence, graphic content, and other mature themes. Listener discretion is advised.
The Rancor's Brothel presents.
Want some whiskey in your water, sugar in your tea? What's all these crazy questions they're asking me? The craziest body that could ever be. Don't turn on the lights 'cause I don't wanna see. Mama told me not to come. That ain't the way to have fun, son.
Iconoclasts, a campaign of horrors modern and ancient.
Open up the window, let some air into this room. I think I'm almost choking from the smell of stale perfume and the cigarette you're smoking. Don't scare me half to death. Open up the window, let me catch my breath. Mama told me not to come.
You got to think of what the response would be. How quickly are they going to get? How many people are they going to bring? You know, if that guy just jumps in a car and takes off, he could already be a fifth of the way here from Mosul already. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if it's somebody coming in force, right, expecting a hostile group
who knows that they just lost almost 30 guys to this group.
Correct. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be coming. He's not going to be coming unarmed. But you also don't know that he's just not going to roll up with 5 dudes in a truck with a couple of RPGs either.
I did mention that we might have been the coalition forces, so there's that.
That is true. You did do that. I forgot you did. And you yelled that in Arabic.
Yeah. Is there any way that the team back at the base can arrange a medevac helicopter? Like in a hurry.
Okay.
It is nighttime. It would be the time to use one.
Yeah.
It's really, I keep trying to see how much these tablets actually weigh because they're not that big. But I'm just
not
curious.
If they fit in a footlocker that small, no.
Correct.
And 72 of them. Plus notes.
No,
but I mean, if you try and lift a 13 by 16 by 32 inch rock, that's fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of these tablets are not big.
Clay isn't necessarily as heavy or as dense as a rock, is it?
No, but they're still. I mean,
they're still fucking heavy.
They're still fucking heavy.
Closer to ceramic.
And the other thing is obviously. Yeah. So most of the clay tablets are square or rectangular, and this that I'm looking at range in size from about 2 by 2 centimeters to 18 by 9 centimeters. So you're looking at tablets that are roughly the size of 18 centimeters. You're looking at something that's not even the same size as a full sheet of paper, right?
No.
You're looking at maybe half a sheet of paper. If you take
it's like 2 1/6 centimeters is an inch.
Yeah. So even if you take it by 2, that would take it to 9 by 4.5.
2.54.
So yeah, roughly like half a sheet of paper, roughly.
It would have to be the point.
Okay, so can I tell
rounding up
what the tablets in the footlockers are?
As you open the footlockers and look, they are all in Akkadian.
Is that what I rolled for and failed?
Yes.
Okay.
Could be a lot of different things.
Yep. I'm radioing back to them. I'm assuming that May is telling me that they have wounded and things like that. Can we get?
I would assume that we would be able to huff out of here on our own.
No, I'm calling back to our group. Can we arrange a medevac helicopter?
Anyone? So who was overwatching the mission from Mission Control?
Al Rabini was the tech guy.
Okay, so not Al Jabari.
No, Al Rabini.
Al Jabari. Yeah, I would say if they want to make a call, what are you trying to do? Are you actually trying to get a medevac is that what you're actually trying to accomplish? Or are you just trying to get a helicopter there?
No, I would call it a medevac because there is wounded there, but we can also throw some shit on there and get the hell out.
Okay.
Yeah. At least throw the notebooks in there. I don't know how many tablets we can get.
I'll let you do this.
Just an extraction. We need an extraction.
Yeah.
The Spec Ops team would, just logically speaking, the Spec Ops team, unless they feel somebody's wounded enough to need it, would be cautious about doing it because they know that they're AWOL here.
Yeah. It's risky. It's expensive. If you can get out on your feet or wheels, you do.
Okay.
And more than likely, the Spec Ops wouldn't want to be here when it did get here. That's proof of AWOL.
You could try it. Now, again, you're private military contractors. So, I mean, you could go in and call your bosses, but your bosses are going to know why the fuck you're out there in the middle of the night and why 3 of you got shot. you're going to have to deal with that when you get back to base anyway. You would be disinclined since you're just paid out here doing night work to do that. Now, you can try and fucking call one in without them even knowing. I mean, you know, you do you, but I just trying to keep some contention amongst the party.
Right.
Because these guys are definitely not part of the task force. They give zero fucks about what you're trying to accomplish, other than getting paid, which they've already been paid.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah, I think you lost that.
Yeah, we were doing it for half.
So you can still call back to Al Rabini, and if we want to go through the roles, you can try and get it. I just didn't know if you were actually trying to medically evacuate people, and that was the call, or if you're trying to shadow get a medevac out there and do something else with it.
I mean,
to
a
slip
little column
trying to
A,
slip
little column
somebody
B.
on.
I know you are, but I'm just curious how Al Rabini is going to work.
Just slip somebody onto the medevac
Well,
with the lid.
We're on a timetable now that you're in contact with the rest of the team. And considering what you've told us about the amphora, if we are going to move with the lid, we need to start moving now.
Yeah.
Because realistically, if we just start now to get there with the lid, that could possibly put us there at the same time as the reinforcements.
Response. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I was thinking helicopter.
I think it's off the table.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. I like it a lot. I don't know who you're calling in that favor from that would get it to you.
But that gives you an hour and a half, less than 2 hours to do what you need to do there and for us to get the lid to you.
Right.
Al
So do
Rabini can duct tape the lid to the drone, and we can fly the drone in at least from further out.
On the underside of the drone, you just see the elder sign glowing on the bottom of the stopper.
Yep. Okay, so do I leave this thing here?
Is it movable? Can we transport it?
I can't. And you're not here.
I mean, you've got a team with you. So you see what those spec op guys can do.
What's this guy's sanity?
Yeah.
Remember when you all voluntarily took that extra sand loss so you didn't have to take that within the firefight?
Yep.
Choices.
No, we wouldn't expose them to this.
Then it stays.
Click.
We can seal the bunker.
Huh?
I say we seal the bunker.
That keeps us from putting the lid on it in the future.
I thought we were putting the lid on.
If we're sending the lid now.
From what Mary gathered from Sloane's information, the amphora is not specific to what has been released. However, we think it's still a threat, correct?
Kind of looks that way.
Okay.
I like this because it's played very well as some guy saying like, is it really a problem? And Jeff is staring down, watching things disappear into darkness. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a fucking problem. There's a whole fucking micro universe in this goddamn.
The best part is it might be the most educated person of our group who's like off the rails.
This close to losing her shit because what the fuck is this?
Quit asking those questions.
And Iselmen with guns are on their way.
Yeah.
I say at this point, we should probably start very simply by pulling the trucks closer. Like make the journey easier.
Yeah.
That would be a good call.
But before that,
Did all the trucks out front go up?
Theirs did. Yeah.
Yeah,
We just
theirs
have our-
did. Okay.
If you're climbing back out onto the surface after hearing those whoops, yes, there is a pretty solid raging fire and gasoline.
right.
And on the same side, actually, is the gate that goes back to the pool, roughly. So it's also going to be an obstacle because you have 3 burning cars.
There's a side gate, isn't there?
Yes, the cars blew up in
Up
front
front.
of the garage that are close to that side gate because the side gate was on that side.
Yeah, but the side gate is down.
Sure, but what I'm saying
Further
is
away
the
from
ability
that.
to back the truck up to the side gate might be a bit difficult.
Put a
with
charge
some
on that
burning.
wall back by the pool. Just blow a hole in the fucker.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's make a new entrance.
Yeah.
It's an option.
I'm sure that truck's got a winch on it or something. We could probably just
literally
pull
what
it
I was just
over.
thinking. Mm-hmm.
Or just drive the fucking backhoe into it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Operate heavy machinery, please. I like the idea. I absolutely will allow it. I don't care if you have operate heavy machinery or not. Just roll. Let's see what happens. The last time I had somebody use an operate heavy machinery roll, they nearly killed themselves.
Captain Dan's got it.
Yep.
Yeah, he does. At like
You go
60?
stop taking pictures to use the backhoe.
Yep.
Don't roll shit.
Oh, God damn it.
Missed it by 5.
So you rolled 65 over.
No,
No,
he
he rolled
55.
Over 50.
Oh,
God damn it.
Oh, that's a critical fail, Spencer.
Oh, sweet. You're going to jail. Going to jail.
ISIL really doesn't take people to jail.
Well, the dice are going to jail.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's your dice jail.
Oh, Cody gets to be creative in his favorite way, which
Hastings,
is
don't watch
fucking
what
us
he's
over.
doing. Get out of there.
It's brothel tradition. We're gonna do the same thing. Athletics roll, Spencer,
He's both.
for Captain Dan. It's critical fail. Really
No,
bad. Okay.
it's not.
What is it? Which is
75. Where's my athletics? Why am I struggling?
down just above bureaucracy.
Fail.
but not a critical failure.
Not a critical failure.
I'll make it a roll then instead of giving it full out. So Captain Dan hops in, gets it started, right? You got to remember, there's like sand and shit, right? And so on and so forth. So Dan gets it going, but he can't just drive out. He has to lift the bucket so he doesn't catch it on the pool and the sand. So he lifts the bucket up, but as he approaches the corner, it makes him wibbly wobbly, which then, because it's a critical fail, he catches something and flips the thing on its side. The athletics roll, he is not able to throw himself free of the backhoe in time, which means he falls over while inside it, which can be fairly painful. So let's see how that goes.
Yep.
4 points of damage,
All right.
possibly a broken limb.
It's got a roll cage.
It's an ISIL version. How
They have different manufacturing.
Yeah.
you think Bobcat is over there selling?
I'm just saying ISIL didn't make it. That's all I'm saying.
No, but they probably beat it to shit too.
It's fine.
Sorry, guys. Fuck that up. That didn't go well. Ow.
You basically ollied a Bobcat.
Great. That's not how an ollie works. Be technical about skateboarding.
Yeah, right.
An ollie's just a, and you're good.
Yeah.
I didn't say he was successful at it. He attempted. It was a good idea. I liked it. Operate heavy machinery continues to be the bane of people on this podcast.
I mean, he's not under duress.
We are short one
Yeah,
back.
fuck those rules.
Fuck those rules, man. I think pending ISIL arriving is somewhat under duress.
Well, let's
No,
go.
it's pending being under duress.
Oh, it's pending. It's assistant to the
pending
assistant.
duress.
I'm just trying to imagine us as spec ops up here on the upper floor watching this.
What the fuck are these idiots doing?
Taking bets. Totally taking bets. With the money they just got paid.
Yeah.
We killed 30 guys for this.
Dinner and a show.
A broken leg might be a bit far. It seems poetic, but yeah,
For
no.
4 damage. Yeah, that's a little far.
I mean, considering most people have 8 or 9, it's still pretty critical.
I'm pretty sure they're major wound rolls, right? And they're required.
And Captain Dan is 15. He lifts.
You bang your head on the cage as it rolls over, slightly concussed. Definitely a critical failure needs to be fucked a little bit.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like anything that was not a critical failure, you probably succeeded at it. You just fucked it up a few times before you got it done. But
Yeah.
critical failure requires
Are
damage.
we sending somebody with the lid?
I don't know how we can get it here.
We have vehicles.
Yeah.
The vehicles that we currently are in were the spec ops.
No, I get that. But if we're looking at an hour and a half before we have a response here, I don't think you can get from the base over here.
Well, we're not going to be able to retain control over SOMs either. So
Right. We don't
we're
wanna
gonna
leave
put a
it
lid on
here.
anything. It's got to be now.
I mean, I think Daniel's rough guess is correct. If someone drove like a bat out of hell from Kirkuk, you would get here at roughly the time you are expecting a response.
Yeah.
You also have time to get stuff out and get it on the truck, but you have limited space, so you can't take everything.
Yeah.
All heavy clay tablets that you don't want to drop or jostle or bang around, lest they take damage.
Yeah.
So that's where what journals, tablets. What are we?
We're going to have to leave the M4, monitor the site, see what comes back, see what holds it. It's all we can do. We can't drag this thing out of here. Not just Hastings and Dan.
Hastings and Dan would have trouble moving the M4 on their own. Absolutely.
So it stays.
Yep.
Like you could wiggle it and pivot maybe, but like you're not getting it out of a pool, getting it out of,
Right.
carrying it across.
And even if we could get the cap here, we're not leaving the cap, right?
If we're going to use the amphora, we'll need the cap with it. However, from what we know, we don't have to.
Right. We can turn whatever vessel into the containment.
Correct.
I
Regardless,
think I'm more of like, let's not let anything else come out of that amphora.
regardless,
No, I get that.
Either way, whether we end up using the amphora or not, the cap will have to remain with the amphora because you're not going to put that thing on, a Rubbermaid tote and make it work.
Yeah. Is it just the one gal that we have that can create the elder sign, or is she teaching us?
I think she's the only one who can create it at this point.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you couldn't share that information. but
Right.
We'd have to look up learning spells and shit.
Just curious. Okay. So what do you guys want to do?
Let's go get the trucks, bring them up as close as we can, winch those burning trucks out of the way.
Yeah, that would help. You said it just all takes time. It's going to take.
To get a vehicle to winch the trucks out of the way, you might want to unmine the gate.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
But what's the home team want to do? Are you heading this way with the cap?
I mean, after hearing this information, I think Mary would probably want
We'll
to
cap this thing.
cap the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the worst case scenario, they start heading this way with the cap, and if we deem we got to go, we just be like, just turn around.
Yep.
Okay. If we're going to seal this amphora and leave it here, do we collapse the entrance?
Well, if we're worried about the amphora falling into the wrong hands or being a threat, I'd say it's good to shut this down. I mean, can we use it as a containment vessel? Yeah, but we honestly don't know if that's going to work yet.
Right.
Nor do we know how to get or lure the thing to it.
Right.
So this site will not be under our control come morning.
Right. So do we seal it and collapse it, or do we seal it and just leave it?
What would Hastings' opinion be on the usability of the site for anyone else? I mean, this is stuff that was hard for her to decipher.
Correct.
And she's an expert.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing. Everything here reads double secret probation. Like everything even knowing all these languages, even if you spent the next several weeks reading all the journals, it's still going to take academic time to put this shit together, even with Rassam's notes. So, I mean,
Right.
it's not easy from a DG perspective, because some of you probably have prior program experience. The amphora is definitely a problem. It's not an active problem, but you also found something that suggests that it could be a major problem. But the only seal that you have, I mean, obviously this is Pandora's box, right? Are you going to cap the box and leave it? Are you going to try and bring the box? Or are you going to leave it alone? Are you going to spend your time getting out some of this information? You can't do everything. So essentially it's narratively, I'm going to bind you on some of the shit. Just you can get some of it, obviously, but not all of it.
Yeah.
So it's what's important. Is it his journals? Is it the tablets? Is it the amphora?
Well, we're documenting the tablet.
True. I get that. But it obviously is removing it's time and how much you're going to get. And is it going to be well lit?
Correct.
Yeah, it's
But we don't have to drag all of the cataloged tablets.
correct.
The 10-foot lockers, I think, would be a good idea, but I don't know.
Because the 10-foot lockers would take some time to try not to break, to get them up, to get them in the trucks. And they're going to take up a significant amount of space, which is obviously less space for the private military contractors' loot.
Are they going to find a lot of loot?
Well, if they're busy worrying about tablets, then they're not able to look for it.
Gotcha.
That's the other thing. You could offer them more money. I just throwing it out there. That's
No,
an option.
I know.
You and Dan would struggle to get all 10 lockers out yourself. Because let's again say it's 3 feet, 3 feet by 2 feet, by 1 foot. Let's say those tablets are, 10 pounds a piece, 15 pounds a piece. You don't think clay 2 inches thick is?
No, bro. Yeah.
Okay, each
10 I could.
70 tablets, 10 pounds apiece. That's 700 pounds.
No, I didn't say I didn't count the number of tablets. When he said that there's 6 dozen, I'm talking about 6 dozen journals.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think the
You
tablets.
said 70 tablets, but oh well.
He did, but it's okay.
I think we should make a decision on the amphora. We either need to get it out or we need to bury the damn thing after it's been sealed.
Okay, I'm not having these guys load that thing up.
Right.
If you can get here and have a way to get it out and get it loaded before we are overrun, run, that's great.
Well, I mean, we have the time doesn't play in our favor unless we have an airlift.
So I think
And we can't request official support because cover's blown.
yeah. So, I mean, at this point, just collapsing it.
What if we tried to make this site? What if we tried to help hold it? What would it take to convince coalition forces that they've been attacked here? Because
So I'll tell you this, Spencer. I looked this up in the preservationlab.org for the University of Cincinnati. The clay tablet, which is significantly larger than what we're describing here, but this clay tablet was 14 by 14 by 4.5.
4.5 inches thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
that-
where your weight comes from.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is most of these tablets are half the sheet of a paper, but still 2 inches, 3 inches thick.
yeah,
And it says it weighs almost 50 pounds.
you make it too thin, it cracks when you're trying to chisel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're probably 30 pounds apiece.
So ISIL already thinks that they've been attacked by coalition forces here. They're sending an appropriate response.
Right.
But what if the coalition forces actually think that they've been attacked by ISIL here and come in retaliation?
Then we have more problems, more people seeing shit.
Yeah.
But we could keep the site, and then maybe we can manage like I don't know, a chemical leak or something. I don't.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. How could we spin this in terms of strategic advantage for coalition forces would be my question.
Okay. Question.
Yeah.
Does it look like anybody's been down here since everybody died?
Hard to say for sure, but the door was closed.
Right.
I mean, nothing's obvious. So, and obviously, if they were like the guys from Dabiq and wanted to destroy non-Islamic stuff, this room's fucking full of everything.
Right.
Nothing has been moved from an organized state.
And they've had
Literally,
it for weeks.
Right.
literally, he wrote in the book, and it was still open on that page with the pen sitting there.
It's good.
So they may not even
Jeff.
seen it.
Yeah, they may not. Just close it up and
Close it up and act like we weren't here.
And make it seem like it was just coalition forces attacking a stronghold.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it seems like already.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So seal it up. In my opinion, we take all the journals and as many tablets as we can.
Yes.
So, but
Agreed.
journals number one priority.
agreed.
I
We
agree
can
with
fit
that.
70 books in the back of a truck, let alone 3.
Right. We don't. Yeah, we put it in
Correct.
the cab. Shit.
The books would be the easiest thing. His journals would be the easiest thing to move. It
Yeah.
would be the least delicate because they're relatively modern compared to everything else you're talking about.
Right.
Folios and especially the tablets and the figurines are ancient artifacts. The only thing more durable is probably the bronze amphora.
Okay, I'm going to bribe the Spec Ops team with these figurines. You want some loot? Here you go. I need these footlockers on those trucks. The Baghdad Museum will pay out the ass for these.
I'll give you a persuade plus 20%. Let's see what kind of a roll it is. As long as it's not a critical, I think that you're probably
It's not a critical fail.
just a regular fail.
Yeah, 65 over 42.
The fail is not that he's not convinced. It's that McGuire's going to be a dickhead and start negotiating with you. I don't know what these things are worth. They should. He realizes the need in your situation. He's going to argue with you a little bit, which takes time.
Okay.
He didn't give a fuck if those footlockers are out. He'll do it, but he's not doing it with haste or anything. He didn't give a shit if these come out or not.
Somebody with the lid.
I mean that.
Well, at this point, I need this stuff. I don't care if your idols come out. So I can just collapse the damn thing now.
How the fuck are you going to collapse it?
Dan, set those charges.
Who was
Yes, boss.
Al Rabini was the technical operator that was monitoring. Okay.
It wasn't
assist
just
rolls work?
monitoring. It was a phone.
Huh?
Can you assist on
I have
rolls?
no idea.
I think you can. I'm curious.
I think you can give like a plus 20 or
I got an
something
alt
like
one.
Well, not one's a pretty solid roll. He maybe.
I think Al Rabini and Major Mary Olson.
But I think you got something going here. You've convinced him to move a little
Okay.
bit more.
I think Al Rabini and Major Mary Olson are on their way
Okay.
with a lid.
I need.
Before we name people, let's look at those sheets. There's a couple of things I want to make sure are going to be an option.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, Mary's had the lid since we've obtained it. I don't think she's going to let loose of it.
that's
so.
perfectly fine. I want somebody who has a drive check that's decent.
Coward.
Fuck off.
No airbags. We die like men.
Mary's got 52.
the medic.
I thought it was Dan.
Nope, Dan's got a 20. I'm pretty sure the medic is the one with the drive.
No,
No?
Werner's got a 20.
It's Mary. I'm pretty sure.
Jennifer's got a 40. Landry's got a 60.
There's a driver. He was the
Yeah,
pilot.
Rubini. No, Rubini's the pilot.
Oh, he's the
Yeah.
flew the drone. Okay.
So Rubini would be staying, not going, but it would be Landry.
Okay, so Major Mary Olson and Landry.
So Landry's driving. Olson's bringing the lid for the Amphora.
Correct.
Like bats out of hell.
Okay.
Could they also before they peace out, could they also bring something like a crate to put the Amphora in,
We'll turn it.
so we could have the knuckleheads help us move
50%.
the Amphora and not have to be exposed to it?
We're not taking the Amphora.
I know, but I know we weren't taking it because we didn't want to expose the knuckleheads to it. But if we have a way to, if they can get there in time and we can cap it, why not just take it?
How many
Bring
people
a
would it
crate.
take to move it?
Probably 4, right?
At an estimate, you would think that it weighs between like 400 to 600 pounds.
Yeah, 4 people.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
4 people would be, and then you're thinking about again getting it out of the fuck pool.
Right. But
There are stairs in a pool. You know, the ones that you hung up the.
There's a sand ramp at this point,
Yeah.
It's got some tire tracks in it now.
and there's probably a backhoe in the way now.
thanks,
I mean-
Captain Dan.
If Craig hadn't gone before you, maybe I'd have done something different. But
He crit failed both of his, though, didn't he? He just died on the
failed,
spot.
He
didn't
failed. No, I almost.
He was left at one hit point or something like that.
At the bottom.
I'm going to push the roll.
He
What
failed.
are you doing, you idiot?
He failed, pushed the roll, and then crit failed. Because in 7th ed, you can say, I'm going to push the roll. Where you get it, you get to roll it again.
Right.
But if you fail again,
And the
I get to do
backhoe
something.
went down.
It was a forklift.
Or a forklift went down into the hold of a ship.
Oh,
He was like,
cool.
he was like on the deck, and he was like, "Oh, this forklift would be fun to screw with. I'm going to roll operate heavy machinery." And I'm like, "Okay, you fail." And I was like, "Okay, he's going to wreck it."
Wait, he didn't have a reason? He was just playing?
I think he was just playing with it. I don't think there was a reason.
Wow, that's even worse.
But so I had him extend it all the way up and out, which of course makes you top heavy, and he threw it all the way down the fucking center of the hold.
Amazing.
Maybe they were trying to move something, but I don't think, I'm pretty sure there was no goddamn reason other than he's like, I've never rolled operate heavy machinery before. So operate heavy machinery.
I'm
is
pretty
just
sure
sort of thing.
that line was spoken.
It's a very Craig thing to do.
I've never driven a forklift, and I don't know how to, but I'm gonna give it my damnedest.
Wow.
It's not that hard.
It's really not that crazy.
Well, when you fail 2 rolls, I feel like it should be.
No, we're talking real life.
Yeah,
Nah.
I understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, drive check from Mary.
Nope. Drive check from Landry.
Sorry, drive check from Mary or from Landry.
12 under 60.
Okay.
Ooh.
Almost very close.
It's not a crit. It's a success. You'll make it there, and you'll make it there within time. You're not necessarily going to cut a whole lot of time off. So you're going to get there pretty late. But you are going to make it on time. So we've decided that somebody's getting the books, and you're getting the spec ops guys to get the trunks.
Yep.
Okay.
Bronson removes the C4.
Kaboo! You have one less truck. Alertness roll.
From
Whoever wants to fucking roll it, I don't care.
My will. Hot 5 under 80.
You hear the sound of a truck approaching.
Ooh, I got the sniper.
Yeah.
who's driving?
Landry. Nasser Landry.
Okay.
We'll scope it in, see what's going on.
I will radio.
Should be a man and a woman.
Yeah. Radio, make sure that's him.
It definitely looks like a shot up ISIL truck.
That's what we were driving.
Yeah, I'm radioing Landry and making sure that that's Landry that's approaching.
Well, it's dark and
Well, he's calling out. He's calling out to him via radio.
Yeah.
And he's saying, yes, that is us approaching.
Okay.
Man, Jeff, cutting out on all my fun. See, this is again where if the spec ops guys were played by not you guys, and I could have said, hey, non-random person,
Right.
you see an ISIL truck. I light him up. Perfect.
Leia gets on the comms. You all want to confirm these inbound bogies again are friendlies?
Friendly.
Oh, damn.
The truck pulls up. You have the stopper for the Amphora.
Wait, so between that whole travel time, wait. So were
We were
able to
loading
load?
up.
Okay, how much were we able to actually load?
Between the rolls, Jeff was able to negotiate. He convinced McGuire to take the statues. You threatened to blow it all to hell. You rolled an ot 1. I'm going to honor the ot 1. You've got them to move. So you've got the Spec Ops guys to not loot and to load all the trunks.
All of them. Nice.
So you've got all 10 footlockers.
Okay.
And you've got all of his books. That pretty much, not entirely fills you up, but that fills up what you've got. Now you do have a pickup truck. It doesn't have a lot of space, but a pickup truck is now here. It's been about 90 minutes to 2 hours. It's in that range. So you know that you don't have much time. But this is where you're at. So you have the M4, or you have the M4 stopper. You now have, you guys can basically just play the 4 right here. I mean, you've got Landry and Mary and Dan and Hastings.
Okay, let's get this thing on it. Mary gestures to go towards the bunker.
Hey, quick thought, guys. Should we send the 2 trucks? Get them going. Get them out of here. And then we just got a couple of people exposed.
No, because if things go to shit, we want the Spec Ops guys there to help us.
Also, we don't want the Spec Ops guys driving off with our shit.
Oh, yeah. No, I would just say leave 1 or 2 people behind. No, we're not trusting those chuckle fucks.
No.
Sending.
We're all staying here. We're all leaving together.
All right. Okay.
I'm taking the lid down to the bunker.
Sure.
Anybody coming with me?
Hastings will. She wants to see what happens.
Yeah.
Don't look in there. Just put it on.
All right. Mary takes the lid and sets it on top of the M4.
You hear like a scuttling on the inside? That can't be right. M4 lid's on. Stoppers in place. Thunk.
Okay. In the video, did they have to break anything off of here? Was it wax sealed or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think they just popped it like a cork.
Okay. Then we'll tap it on there good and close everything up.
Did anything funky
As you
happen?
tap it on, something inside knocks back.
That's what I was doing.
Stop it.
You shut up in there.
You stay in your home. So yeah, there you go. You drive off. You do anything else?
Let's secure the entrance to the bunker.
Secure it how?
I don't know. So just one way in, then there's not an attached route to the house.
No, the only thing that there was is that there is some sort of exhaust out the top. There's a...
Okay, so the pool is...
Yeah, I think our best bet is to leave it as it was, as inconspicuous as possible, because they didn't seem to be interested in it before.
With the exception of the backhoe that's overturned and now has...
That happened
Well, the backhoe was already in the pool, right?
Pay no attention.
Well, the backhoe was already in the pool, right?
No, we'll just run over and drag one of the ISIL bodies from the side of the house that's already outside and put it in the backhoe seat.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. Do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Guy was trying to drive it and create a hole to get away from coalition forces through the wall.
Sure, why not?
Yep.
Plausible, I guess.
All right, so we've got journals loaded up. We've got the M4 sealed.
We've got all the footlockers.
The journals, yeah.
No,
the clay tablets.
The clay tablets. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
We need to really figure out. Maybe we should switch the driver, our good driver, to the one with the clay tablets. We need to not have bad driving rolls with those tablets, because that could be a problem.
You're probably, realistically speaking, you probably are. There's enough footlockers that it's probably not all in one vehicle.
Right, exactly. I'm trying
probably
to
split amongst the 3 vehicles.
of the 3. Oh, okay.
I mean, because there are 10 footlockers, and these are personnel carriers. They're not necessarily cargo haulers. So, I don't know, maybe you fit 5
Plus,
in one and 5 in the other, or 4 in one, 4 in one, and then 2 in the other.
Do these require drive or do these require heavy machinery?
I don't know. Spencer shouldn't make the roll, though.
Nope. No, those dice are in jail. It's fine.
It's probably some sort of, I would imagine it's still just a drive roll.
Okay.
There isn't much jail in these parts. I'm okay with you. At least cutting their hands off. Okay.
Check in with Overwatch, make sure everything's still good, and get ready to clear out.
Yeah.
Yep. Lay will do a scan on the horizon with the scope.
Nothing so far.
Really?
Let's make our retreat.
You head off into the darkness. All this went down at like 10. You've been here almost 2 hours, so it's probably the 17th at this point. It's, and by the time you make the drive back, I mean, it's probably 2 in the morning, between 2 and 3 in the morning, probably.
We wouldn't have any kind of camera equipment, surveillance equipment, would we?
Well, we did have a drone.
No, I want a stationary camera that we can leave. I want to see if someone actually comes back.
And we didn't bring any of that equipment with us.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
It was a really good idea.
Yeah, I
Maybe
wish
we
I'd
could-
had it earlier.
Maybe we couldn't just set up a phone.
I mean, we could.
The battery wouldn't. I mean, but it would show us.
Did Rassam have a laptop?
I'll look. Discuss amongst yourselves, but I will go look through.
Wouldn't be long term, but we'd see if they sent forces. At least it'd last that long.
They may have dicked around with computers, but you did blow up a lot of shit on the floor where they were hanging out. So
Right.
imagine all their shit is gone or very badly destroyed.
But Rassam's lab was not.
Correct. I would agree. Let me look at his lab and see what was in there. That's a good call. Contrary to what you think, I'm not always trying to dick you over.
Just mostly.
Just mostly.
That cell phone was still functional, right?
It was.
I'm wondering if that might come into play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to.
do that and leave it for them to pick up if there are people that come back.
Mhm.
I mean, if you think you could do that in a quick fashion.
I like where your brain is there. I also want to just say out loud that we took pictures of all the dead bodies. I know we discussed that, but I
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Don't shoot him in the face.
No, I don't see anywhere where it describes that he specifically has a laptop.
Okay. Worth a shot.
No, I think it's a great idea. It doesn't specify, and there's nothing in his daily routine, as far as I know from the book, where it would suggest that he does.
I love
He's
where
an
your
old
head's
man.
going.
Because everything is handwritten in cryptic languages. It's not stored online. It's yeah.
Yeah, no, he's.
We
I mean, you saw, and the other thing is when ISIL would have raided, they would have taken modern conveniences anyway. You saw where TVs had been ripped out, satellite
Yep.
dishes had been ripped out.
we don't have any surveillance equipment per se, but Mary does have the knowledge and tech to bug a phone.
Okay.
So if we want to try to do that with head guy's cell phone,
With the last moot killed.
Yeah.
And then just leave it to see if it's taken and activated.
I mean, that would give us at least an ear here still.
What kind of phone is it?
In my mind, I originally pictured like a shitty Nokia, but it's probably a smart.
Literally what I was about to say. Yeah.
Like a shitty Nokia is thematically appropriate, but then again, I mean, they would all have smartphones. Like maybe it's not the latest Apple model, but it's probably something, within the last 5 years smartphone.
Something with
An
a-
old Samsung,
With a
an old
camera.
Apple. Yeah, no, I mean it would
With a
be a
camera.
modern phone.
Something we could rig, leave it propped up on a table watching the door.
Hell, just leave it propped up in the windowsill pointed at the front gate.
Could do that too.
I think that's fair as long as he makes a decent roll in terms of getting it set up, just to see what he's able to do.
I'm trying. That's probably the SIGINT roll, correct?
That would literally be signals intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it's either that or computer science for just basic phone manipulation, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, part of her equipment is IMSI catchers, and it has skill or stat use SIGINT. So, yeah.
Cool.
That is a 60 under 7.
Okay. You're able to do it relatively quickly. And yeah, you can get that set up.
Sweet.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
I say at this point, your drone operator is suggesting that there appears to be activity on the road.
Yeah, let's clear out.
You all take off towards the east then. You rigged it up probably to send it back to,
Albini.
yeah. Within 5 to 7 minutes after you leave Rassam's home, you see 4 vehicles pull up, come jumping out with dudes and weapons and the whole 9 yards. You can see somebody giving orders. I'm not sure what all you would hear, but you do see, you see what you wanted to see from the camera or from the phone.
Is there enough that we could get a face?
Yeah, I'll say that you can get a face.
Okay. Do we know what Al Jabiri looks like?
Probably not at this point, but the guys back there could start working on it. It wouldn't
Okay.
take you long to figure that out. I don't think that that's super complicated.
Okay.
Zoom, enhance, crop, put it on a dead body.
Yeah, it wouldn't take long to get that all figured out.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily tonight, he says in air quotes, but 100% that is Al Jabiri.
Okay.
And you probably see insignia or other symbols of status. You can tell that Al Jabiri showed up with a bunch of his guys.
Probably not mooks.
I was gonna say these look less like mooks. These look definitely like battle hardened motherfuckers.
Yep.
Markings? Anything that we can pick out?
Let me search something.
Lay starts laughing. It looks like Mosul got my friend request.
I would imagine it's hard to find. I don't know if they would wear insignia or not if they're secret police, because that makes them not secret if they're wearing open insignia.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, I don't know that they would or not, but it would be obvious that these are not mooks. These are tough customers. Like that car comes in screeching, takes the fucking gate off, like guys jump out, tactical, everything.
I did get the charge. We could
have put it back.
Hey, I was gonna have those guys
Fuck
die,
you.
die in a fiery boat. But I mean, like exactly what Spec Ops would expect to see. These guys don't come in lightly. They come in hard. They come in fast. They come in prepared to shoot motherfuckers. They don't find anybody, obviously, but yeah, you do see.
This is the point where the pay is never enough.
They pop in ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
And it doesn't take long probably for the signal to cut out, or at least to get interference. It's enough to get 2 minutes of video, 3 minutes of video.
Yeah.
But you probably have a moment where you maybe haven't noticed him yet, but you see the third car roll up as you see these guys kind of sweep and clear and are breaching and are going in. You see a third car roll up and someone steps out of the back that's clearly neater, cleaner. He's shouting instructions to people. Since you're behind the window, I don't know what all you're going to hear. You're going to hear, but you see it's clearly Al-Jabiri, and Al-Jabiri sort of looks up and around, kind of stares at the sky, almost sniffs the air, maybe sort of just very, I'm going to say stargazing, but you know how sometimes like people just kind of go out and just sort of feel the evening or feel like it's like he's feeling the environment. He's taking it in on a level beyond anything else, but he's definitely sort of, the eyes are analytical and fiery, and he's pulling it all in sort of silently, circumspectly. And then he reaches into a pocket, pulls out a phone and begins to dial. And as he puts it up to the ear, that's when you start to get interference and it eventually cuts out. You would presume because he's now fucking trying to call that phone number, which when you picked it up, it would have probably had like 47 missed calls. Maybe not quite that many, but you would have thought he would have attempted to call his whomever back. So in game time, that moves us to the 17th. The 4 out, all of you probably, I don't want to say sleep in, but all of you definitely get some extra rest before you get started the next day. That moves us to April 17th. Colonel McGuire and his team bid you adieu. They say next time, if you decide to hire us, it's going to cost more since we seem to get shot.
It's not our fault you get shot.
We'll see how much these statues are actually worth, miss.
They're probably worth a lot of fucking money.
I mean, Hastings knows they are priceless artifacts.
I'm sure it galled her to pawn those off.
Yes, because they belong in a museum. Wherever they're going is not a museum.
Yeah.
Some rich guy's mantle.
Yep.
Private collections.
Something. So as we move to the 17th, we're obviously getting on in the evening in terms of recording. I guess the next thing is what do you guys want to do?
Hastings and who's the other academic?
You. Kazim.
Have a lot of reading and translating to do.
What was the other girl?
Jennifer.
Jennifer needs to check those photos that we took and see if they buy any leverage with the CIA.
You have photos. You obviously have a story. There's going to be recorded chatter of fire there. You have enough that you could build a story. You are lying to the CIA, so you know that's a risk you're going to take. You know it's plausible and you know it's doable.
Well, that's the thing. We're not necessarily lying to them. We took these ISIL members out.
Correct, but she wanted certain ones out, not mooks. She has a hit list.
So,
okay.
These guys were definitely not on the hit list, but we can make it look.
I was gonna say, I bet you we could do some Photoshop.
Correct. You are photoshopping the CIA, so I'm sure that'll bite you in the ass at some point. But it might buy you some goodwill for now. Oh man, he just really looked like that guy that we intended to kill for you. RB. What do you mean it's photoshopped? You're telling me he didn't have that dick butt tattoo?
At the very least, if she calls back, we can say we've killed some ISIL people. May not have been the ones you wanted, but we're working on it.
Well, we could at least say that they're under the command of him, and he's definitely within 90 minutes of this location.
Feel like laying down a drone strike?
Here we go.
And they would have the capability.
Yeah. I don't think that'd be a bad call to make right fucking now.
I agree.
Call her and say, if Al-Jabari's on your list, I know where to find him right now.
Yeah, we've got intel like within the last 15 minutes on the drive back.
Let's do it.
Okay, who's gonna make that phone call?
Jennifer.
Okay.
She's the one that has the contact.
And honestly, that's great because
I like the idea a lot.
our shit's gonna be fine. The M4 is gonna be fine. It's underground. We're not using bunker busters.
Yeah. We'll call it a bureaucracy roll.
Okay.
You got the good ones out, right?
I got the only ones that are. All right, here we go. 37 under 60.
Nice.
You have positive contact of Al-Jabari.
That is correct.
Where?
I relay
Forward a screenshot of the video.
Yeah. Relay the coordinates. Our covert operations.
She hangs up the phone.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of move the 17th on a little bit, just because there's a couple things that I want to do so you guys can start to plan, and we probably want to record just a little bit of that strategy.
Yep.
Some things that are going to be very obvious now that you're looking at it. The books are Rassam's personal journals.
Correct.
They are dated. There's at least one for every year, if not more.
Right.
These date from 1943 to present.
Wow. Okay.
They are all written in Ashurian Aramaic, which is going to be hard for. I'd have to look at the character sheets, but anyone outside of Hastings is going to have issue reading it. This is to read all of this is massive, so it would take. Probably the study time here is listed not in weeks, if that gives you an idea.
Right.
So
we're starting at the end.
Maybe he'll have summarized some of the previous stuff.
You could definitely start wherever you like, but that's the reading that, skimming it obviously is going to give you different information, but to read this, all 73 volumes, hundreds of pages, if not more each in a dead language is going to take forever.
I think it would be interesting to find out if he found the amphora or if he actually had it created.
The more, it's a good thought. The more you begin to work on Rassam's journals, the more you'll begin to understand, and you'll be able to search for certain things. But this is definitely like a study time weeks or study time months type thing. Right. So keep that in mind. You could dedicate Hastings just to these, and you would get information, but it's going to put her out of commission for some time. The tablets, after looking at it, maybe when not being scared with the thing that whistles all the time, the tablets are very obviously winds unknown to Adad. There were, and I'm 99% sure I mentioned this, but
that's the ones in the footlockers.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's an Akkadian. That would again take weeks of study time. But what's helpful there,
the folios,
is inside the cases as you begin to kind of take these tablets out and look at them and inspect them for damage, there are additional notebooks inside written in Arabic. Ooh. And just at a glance, these are notes specific to winds unknown to Adad. So while they're written in Akkadian, they have at least some Arabic translations in the footlockers.
Okay,
cool. So that's going to take probably 2 or 3 of your characters most of the 17th to begin to parse out. But I just want to go ahead and give that to you in terms of planning.
Okay.
That's basically what you've recovered. You recovered, I think it in fact says 73 total volumes of his personal journal, 43 to 2016. So that'd be 73. If there's one per year, I think there's more than one per year. And you have the tablets. Both of those would take significant time. Mm-hmm. And it might be worthwhile, Jeff, to read up on study time and all that shit of how it plays out in this game too.
Okay.
Because both of those are weeks to months type projects.
Right.
I'll also kind of fast forward the 17th a little bit because obviously you're going to be concerned about that phone call. Oh yeah, go ahead.
What about the digital documentation of the tablets?
Those are going to be a little bit harder. They were cataloged, and he did his best to get the photos in order, but that's going to take some more time. They're a mismatch. So you're getting tablets of different eras, kind of side by side. So it's going to take a little bit more to parse that out. There's not objectively this is what you know from it, if that makes sense.
But can we tell, is this more of the winds unknown to a god?
This is different stuff. You start to read one and you're kind of like, okay, you're reading different things. Like, oh, okay, I see a word for a god or a demon, or I recognize this, but then you clearly recognize something that isn't one of those on the very next tablet.
Right.
It is not. It is a collection of tablets, not a collected story. Make sense?
Yep. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's good. I want to make sure that you guys, when you're thinking about this, have a good idea of what you're dealing with. Trying to make sure that nothing else is specifically detailed. Correct. Yeah, we'll try and do that if need be. The tablets would be the quickest things to translate because they're individual. We could say that maybe like each one takes a week. I don't know. We'll have to look at study time and see what it recommends.
Okay.
You're talking about Winds Unknown to a Dod?
No, Winds Unknown to a Dot is a whole different thing because it's Akkadian. The other tablets are written in other things that are a little bit more common.
I just meant that like everybody here speaks Arabic, so we'd be
correct.
Able to read
You'd be able to read his translation, but understanding it is another. Yeah. I can read a translation of Greek myth. That doesn't mean I can comprehend, same thing. So but yes, that is obviously going to be easier. Whereas before, Hastings was the only one who could really help out with the shit in the museum.
With the stories, anthropology will be helpful.
No, 100%.
Which Kasim can be a part of.
So you've got options there. Mm-hmm. I assume you do take a drone over. Rassam's house is no more, as is most of the orchard is gone.
What about the pool?
I mean, it's heavily. Well, you have a drone, so you can actually fly up and close. The pool has probably been caved in. There's a lot of debris. You can't see the door, but there's nothing, as far as you can tell from the drone, nothing has cracked the substructure. Nothing looks like it. You're not seeing divots that are 30 feet in the ground. You know what I mean?
Okay. So the chamber's intact still.
You have no idea if she got him or not.
Can we tell Can we tell roughly how many vehicles? Like, obviously there would be a lot of stuff, but like, are there more than 3 vehicles worth of debris there?
Yes, there are definitely more than three vehicles worth of debris.
Okay.
Let's see. We know where the third vehicle was that he got out of. So I didn't know if we got burned out husks. We have utterly destroyed, strewn everywhere.
Yeah,
debris.
you have pieces and parts.
Okay.
She spent a couple $1 million of the CIA's finest to try and get him. No guarantees, but she was going to take that shot. Because it wouldn't take her long to timestamp that photo to figure out where it came from. And if you give her the coordinates, she could probably, call in a spy satellite and be there motherfuckers there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking fire Tomahawk missiles.
Oh, I'm sure they got a ship waiting on the coast just in case.
Something somewhere lit that fucker up.
Yeah.
It's like Gears of War, just calling down a hammer of dawn.
And you would imagine that you would get the sense from the bureaucracy whether I think that was an excellent play, by the way. That's a really, really genius play. The bureaucracy roles with her are going to be different. You may not regardless of whether or not you got him, you gave her a shot.
Right.
And that's going to mean a lot. You found a counterintelligence target. You found someone in the opposite end of the spectrum who is important. So she's going to shoot her shot on that. She spent a couple $1 million in missiles to see if he could, especially because he's out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Mm-hmm. She carpet bombed the fuck out of that property.
How good can you dance, motherfucker?
Have you seen videos of those ships firing those missiles?
Oh, dude,
they hug the ground, and they'll even navigate ravines and stuff to their target.
So the question will be,
you've seen them in blankets, like not just one, but 40.
You don't, no guarantees, obviously. It all comes down to timing, but you gave her a spot out in the open within 15 minutes. She gonna shoot her shot.
Yeah.
So that's where you're at. I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything else or give me any plans of what you want to do next. but that's where you're at. Anything research wise is going to take days and days of
Yeah,
time.
they're going to be buried in it for a while.
So
I think there's needs to be a lot of people buried in research, and then I think we need to be back on our like SIGINT grind set, like collecting more data.
Yeah, we still need to work the angle of trying to get into Mosul somehow, whether that's through the CIA or through our contacts.
You think it's worthwhile letting the Peshmerga know we took a shot at the highest counterintelligence within ISIL?
They may have interest, yeah.
you would think that they would have less interest in it, but I mean, you're trying to make yourselves out as shot callers. I mean, it's especially if you hit him. They might know whether or not you hit him.
Yeah.
Because they have eyes on the ground. So they may or may not be able to confirm that kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're fighting the fight every day, so they're going to be less interested in one person.
Yeah. Other than, hey, look at the big dick we were able to swing. Did you hear about that strike? Yeah, we did it. Look at our big cock. Like that's probably the extent of it.
Yeah, but getting that confirmation does two things. One, we can let Irene know we got it, which would give us even more sway if we did for sure get him.
Yeah, but even if we got it from them, we don't have any way of verifying it for her.
I think even unless she saw he was looking at the satellite as he got hit, the best confirmation we're going to get is that.
Yeah.
I mean, you would know that the confirmation would be if somebody else takes his job.
Yeah.
If in 3 days there's someone else who's another colonel who's been promoted in the intelligence, and that's the way you would know probably. Anything else you want to talk about? So I think that's the thought, is that if you're going to do this and you need to bury your characters, some of them into, we can remove them from the game for a while and we can play individual days. Or like I said, it takes a week to train. You could train a few people and 2 weeks could fly by.
Yeah.
Keep the academics on research, maybe a hand or two to help to speed up things a little bit, and then the rest train.
And that's if you guys decide to do that, what would be really helpful to me is to get an idea of what we're talking about in terms of time frame, so I can narrow down what you get. If you're going to skim this for 2 weeks and get one thing, if you're going to read this in depth for a month, that's another thing. If you're going to train on these things, because then that way we can start up the game and in the first 20 minutes,
unless we have another
sweep through it.
Door of opportunity open somewhere with a new avenue, I don't see what else we have to do right.
Well, I mean, we have the time to create new doors. I mean, some of our other characters who might not be in, do we make contacts with other organizations? Because it's not like the Peshmerga is really giving us anything yet.
The CIA is being the CIA.
Correct.
I would be interested to see if we get a call back from
Irene.
the CIA. Irene.
Yeah, I mean that's a thought too.
I'm against just flipping the switch and moving forward 2 weeks or whatever that training montage would be, just because we don't know what our timeline looks like. So I would prefer to play conservative and try and communicate.
Sloan's group. We're positive that there's no other point of contact.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
He said fuck off.
You could go back and see him, but your handler is going to be fucking pissed if he finds out. And you don't know if he's buried Sloan behind more security than he was there last time. And you also know that Sloan said he told you he's burned.
Yeah. We may be able to get some of that information out of Rassam's journals.
Yeah.
Which, idea roll. I give it to you, Jeff.
Odd 8.
Remember that satellite phone
Oh, yeah?
that was on the table?
Fuck.
No guarantees, but if you were going to start, that'd be a really fucking good place to start.
Yeah.
The phone numbers that are in that satellite phone. Well, hey, good news.
He contacted them somehow.
Just a heads up.
Satellite phones would not be something that he would want ISIL to
There's
find.
nobody at Rassam's.
That is also true. No one will likely be guarding it, given the fact that there's nothing there visibly to guard anymore.
Yeah.
Now, are you gonna have to fucking unbury it? Maybe. I mean, there's fucking shrapnel and wall and concrete, and it's fucking.
It wasn't.
Well, hey, guess what? There's another entrance.
It wasn't the bunker though, correct?
It was.
On the table.
It was on the table in the bunker. So could the people not buried in research go to Rasam's to retrieve a satellite phone?
Yeah.
They could be doing that.
I think the big thing is that the drone strike would have shown you that you are probably going to need heavy machinery to unbury some of that. You're probably going to have to move something out there. There were explosions. There was shrapnel. You might be able to do it, but it would take, by hand, would take
A couple days.
time. And do you want to be out in the open?
Chain and a winch probably could do a decent amount of work.
Because you may even have to clear a path to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about like it's excavating for days or anything, but it's not, going in and hiding in a bunker would probably feel relatively safe. Going in and being in an exposed, bombed out place that may or may not attract attention might be another thing you want to think about entirely. So it'd be a hell of a lot faster if you got someone who wasn't Spencer to get a backhoe to remove that.
Yeah. Where's the nearest Sunbelt rental?
Yeah. I'd like to rent a Bobcat.
I mean, they'll have that stuff on the base.
They will.
Yeah. So there are definitely things that we could be doing, even if we only do it for 2 days.
Yeah.
Like to come back out. We've got our people who we know.
Going back to Rasam's is...
Yeah.
No, I honestly think that some of the things that you've done tonight were incredibly clever. So absolutely rewarding some of that. There's no reason to, it's good.
No reason to what?
Well, I don't know that I want to say exactly what I was going to say, so I stopped.
There's absolutely no reason to not light the whole place up. Is that what you were going to say?
No, you've drastically shifted the dynamic with these actions in a lot of ways. You've collected a lot of useful information. You potentially took out a number of enemy contacts. Well, you definitely took out 27 of them. You potentially took out some sort of command or leadership. You've at least theoretically ingratiated yourself better with Irene. Like I said, it's a lot of positives overall. Not what I expected. It was good.
That ain't the way to have fun, son. That ain't the way to have fun, son.
Our title track, Mama Told Me Not to Come, composed by friend of the podcast Ian Shannon, with additional vocals by Lucas Patterson and Cody Grady. You can find more of Ian's work at sleepfortheweary.com. Like what you heard? Check out more episodes online at rancorsbrothel.com, YouTube, or anywhere you can download podcasts. Enjoy talking nerdy? Follow the podcast with other listeners on the Fans of the Rancors Brothel Facebook page. Most of all, keep circulating the tapes. Much love, everybody.
It is, I don't want to see. Mama told